Hello, this is Brendan. I just want to go over my idea, idea that I invented, that I'm calling the quantum house. Um, I expressed it here in my book titled Behind the Night Sky. At the end, there's once they get behind the night sky, there's these. I try to emphasize that part of the point was that the quantum house, the house where you find it, you go in there, and it gives you the ability to kind of continue to create. That was really the main point that I wanted to emphasize. The what is the earth and what could be, if I was to create the, purpose of the earth and what I would find to be meaningful, I invented the quantum house. And so, I wrote some of it down on paper trying to express the idea. I've been studying it and seeing if the science meets up with the theory. And it's a pretty simple theory. I mean, it's given that the harder the job, the more money you make. I mean, a lot of people can understand that concept. It's the same thing when creating nothing out of something. I mean, your human bodies, at least that I know and heard of, they can, through the cells in their body, through the atoms in their body, they build enzymes or other particles. And most of the time when they're building these particles, they're fighting against something. I mean, the doctor, this is where I got enzymes from, because I got my flu shot and the doctor said to build up the enzymes before the flu hits. And that flu the flu shot kind of makes you sick. So put two and two together, and my apartment's filled with dust after I get the flu shot. But the point is, instead of filling my apartment with dust, I could harness that dust and put it to work for me. So it's a pretty simple idea. To design a body or a structure where you know what is what you create, to be accounted for, to have everything accounted for, and then to have a project that doesn't end, that you continue to work on, continue to build upon through this new idea that I just kind of discovered. I was doing some research and I came across this new term called the Compton effect. Now, the Compton effect is this huge number. It was developed by a man with the last name Compton. I'll put it in the link. I'll put the link in the description. He came up with this huge number, which was 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34th power. It's a huge negative number that the world of physics calls Planck's constant. Huge negative number. I mean, you get this thing, this mass times the speed of light that runs into this constant and can all of a sudden transform its original light particle into a variety of particles, because this number is so huge. But instead of just running into Planck's constant, I mean, one could run into a lot of negativity and create tons of different things. They're probably all coming down. Planck's constant is probably one of this giant, I don't know which one to call it, dark creature, and then you get the light and, trying to do service, and what they're trying to do service to is something that's hard to do, and Planck's constant might just be that hard thing to do. And that's the one, that all the numbers line up to. I mean, at least it's one of them. I mean, you get time up there. I mean, maybe Planck's constant's up there, and that's what slows the whole unity, the light, from being one light to just like many. And so, I mean, that's something that people are most likely would call the Lord, or something that they would worship, because it gives them their power to create much out of themselves. And so, I mean, I might have found it, I might not have. But anyway, back to the quantum house. I designed that one, and I'm still doing some research on it, but called and Ben helped today. Hopefully, I'm gonna patent this idea because it's a great idea. It's kind of like common knowledge, but if you think about it, so is bottled water. So I might get away with it, I might not. But at least the house idea that one could live in a computerized like setting, clean computerized setting where everything's known and taken accounted for. So there's not really dust particles, because somebody would be monitoring the dust particles to make sure that they go where they should go, which is to your estate, your lot, your inheritance. Because it could be part of a tree. I mean, why let it go to waste? Why sweep into a dustpan, throw it in the trash, and just like excuse it as some sort of biohazard or something, when we could put that to use in, say, the virtual world. I mean, people who create that stuff, they're probably gonna really like what they created. It's, good to them. And so, I mean, as long as, you're not running into somebody else's stuff in a bad way, I mean, it could be a really good thing. And so, it's a really, really good idea, the quantum house. Taking negativity, causing our atomic structure of our body, however large it is, forcing it, not even really forcing it, but delighting in serving and working for, to create many out of one light, which in the quantum world, quantum mechanics, they call, I suppose they would call it the quantum, the smallest drop of energy. So it goes out there, the quantum or the photon, and makes many things. It's like almost like the God particle, but I don't really understand the whole terms and stuff, but it's like you get the God particle or the light, being able to do all this stuff through these negative light creatures. But that is the atom. I mean, you gotta, the atom, it's positive and then it's negative, and they shoot photons at one another or something. And so, I mean, you can't really. Atom, I think, means in Greek, I think it actually means indivisible. At least it does mean indivisible. So you can't really tell who's negative and who's positive. But whatever the case is, there can be much created out of a positive and negative. Just look at the binary code, on and off. You get 1, 0. There can be a lot created out of two things. And, you get the third thing, which is like, like the pyramids or something, which is, I think, the many colors, the colors of the rainbow. And I've heard Nikola Tesla, through a YouTube video, actually, think that, 3 was, well, in my own words, what I thought they meant when they were telling me through the video, is that Nikola Tesla thought 3 was, some sort of key to the universe, like the pyramids, and 369 was the key to the universe. And I think that just goes back to, you get the quantum at the 3, you get positive, negative, you get the product, you get the product's product, which is 6, and then you get 2, going back to 9, you get the universe, and then you get multi-universes, which is probably in different dimensions, but all makes sense to Nikola Tesla's 369, or just the pyramids 3. And that just, mother, father, children idea. And that because a being has positive and negative, and, it's a great idea. Quantum house, I'm going to patent it maybe, and, I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to creating. I just recently read a book by Mark Hamilton, and he was writing about that the sole reason that makes people happy is value creating. It's creating value for others, and I do agree with that. Creating, or just creating value for others, or creating in general, because all creating is gonna value something. But to keep moving, to keep, to not let stagnation get you down. Don't let death, stagnation, or whatever it is, but to keep moving and creating. And this is a great way to create, is by accepting the negativity within us, having it work for us, causing us to create, accepting the stagnation, causing it to us to create. And instead of fearing the technology, might stick us in something like a matrix or something where we all have to be slaves for it, but we can fit in with it, take parts of it, and make it our own thing, where we can participate in what it's doing. Not that it's really going to let us participate, depending on how strong it is, but we can still get as much as we can if we just kind of accept that, that it's going to need something. Taxes. It's going to need something from us to keep itself fueled. And I figure in the quantum house, one of the best ways to do that would be the volunteer typing. Back in the ancient days, they used to have these temples. They would make sacrifices, or they would chant or something, to practice their religious, financial giving. So typing is a great way. I put that also in the book. I came up with it, though some spirits might have had some involvement, but typing is the idea I put in that book, and I want to emphasize on that. Behind the Night Sky, really important. I think it's really important for the future. I think it's really important for the youth to be open-minded about, making believe, exploring their own ways of looking at life. And Behind the Night Sky was mine. And by the way, it's for sale now. I did look through it, and it is going to need some work. And I will put the edited version up pretty soon. And hopefully many will sell. I love this book. Look at that back cover right there. Just type it. That's the just type it stuff. Making money off of typing. It's like a spiritual act of worship. It's almost like a sacrifice so that the quantum house will remain stable. That's what they used to do, I think, back in biblical times, is where they would, have to do these things for the higher powers in order to remain in the land. I think that was just practice. They were supposed to, to build that negativity, that creating through negativity within themselves, so that way they can stay in that land forever. And most likely, they're blessed to this day because of it. And that's what I'll say about that. And till the next video, I will see you again.